Well, the number of convictions of environmental crimes has increased by a whopping 262% year on year. These stats were revealed in the National Environmental Compliance and Enforcement Report for the year 2021-2022. Now, the Environmental Management Inspectorate, also known as the Green Scorpions, have made more arrests year on year from 585 to 838. The crimes range from poaching of flora and fauna, illegal hunting, and non-compliance with environmental laws. Now, the report was tabled at the Environmental Compliance and Enforcement Lekgotla, currently underway in Muldersdrift in Gauteng. Well, joining us now is the Chief Director of Enforcement at the Department of Forestry, Fisheries and the Environment, Francis Craigie. Francis, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Well, it seems like you're doing a very good job. You know, we've had so many successes as the Green Scorpions in the past year. The number of cases is worrying, though. What would you say, though, is the driving, what would you say, rather, is driving environmental crimes? And what are the more prevalent crimes, particularly from those that we mentioned in the intro?
Yeah. Thank you very much, and thank you for having me on the show. I think that in one word, what is driving environmental crime, unfortunately, is money. Either saving money or making money. So, for example, in the brown sector, where we see quite devastating impacts from sewage or waste. Unfortunately, that means that people are trying to save money and they're not doing what they should be doing, and they're not spending the money that they need to spend to protect the environment. When it comes to biodiversity types crimes, such as illegal hunting, illegal harvesting of our protected species, there we find that people are wanting to make money. So they, unfortunately, without the necessary permits, are going into our protected areas, and they are illegally harvesting or poaching our animals in order to make money. So I think the biggest crimes we've seen over the last year in terms of our report in the brown sector, or what we call the waste and pollution sector, are EIA type of activities, those activities that require environmental impact assessments, and those environmental impact assessments are not being done, and therefore activities are starting illegally. And within the biodiversity sector, illegal hunting and trespassing into our protected areas are the biggest crimes that we're seeing there.
Now, what are some of the other key findings in this report? I mean, the very report that has revealed, you know, that the number of convictions have actually increased by a whopping 262%.
Yes. Thank you. I think one of the reasons for that, in fact, is, we unfortunately came out of the COVID period. And I think during that period, we unfortunately didn't see a lot of cases going through the courts from an environmental perspective. And so the year after that, which is the 21-22 year, we did see that significant increase, as you mentioned, in terms of convictions. The courts were back operating properly. We did also see an increase in terms of the number of environmental dockets that we registered as the Green Scorpions, which went up about 7%. So we had about 952 cases that were in fact registered. So we did see some increase in enforcement statistics. We also saw an increase in our statistics around inspections, where we react to things that are happening, such as spillages or environmental harm issues. And so we do see a bit of a mixed bag. We also saw a little bit of a decrease in terms of what we call our 24G fines, which isn't a bad thing, because it does mean that in that sector, we are having to fine people a little bit less than we have done so before. So it is a little bit of a mixed bag.
As we wrap up, just talk to us a little bit about the Lekgotla that is currently underway. What's the purpose of it? And what are some of the resolutions that you have taken, you know, to improve, especially the work that the Green Scorpions are doing in combating environmental crime?
Thank you, Inati. So I think it's our first day, and I think what the Lekgotla really does is it allows the Green Scorpions to come together. You know, the Green Scorpions are not just at the national department. We sit within the national, the provincial, and the local level of government. And so this type of Lekgotla that normally happens every 2 years allows the Green Scorpions to really come together, to reset, to really think quite deeply about the work we've done, the successes we've had, some of the challenges that we're facing. You know, if you look at the global risks these days, we're looking at the top 5 being linked to environment and environmental harm, and looking at our role as the Green Scorpions and how we can really make a much bigger impact. Looking at making environmental crime, for example, a priority crime within government itself. That was one of the things raised today, as well as looking more at technology. How do we use technology, whether it be drones, information systems, cameras, to assist us where our capacity is unfortunately lacking? So we are only on day 1, but I think by Thursday we'll have some quite good recommendations that we can take forward as the Inspectorate.
Fantastic. We'll definitely follow up on that. Thank you so much, Frances, for your time this afternoon. Really do appreciate it. Frances Craigie there. She is from the Department of Forestry, Fisheries and the Environment.